thank you for joining us today. My name is Nikita and I am the product manager at Tax 990. Today we're going to talk about the filing requirements for the 990 and 990EZ forms. If you have questions during the presentation, please add them to the chat and we will address them at the end of the webinar. We do want to mention we are not tax advisors and we will not be providing specific tax advice. We will purely be discussing IRS e-filing requirements and the process of e-filing with Tax 990. For specific tax questions, please contact a tax advisor or the IRS. This presentation will be recorded and available at tax990.com/webinars. During today's webinar, we'll be discussing Form 990EZ filing requirements, Form 990 filing requirements, Form 8868. We'll take a look at a couple of our Tax 990 specific features and the process of filing with Tax 990. And then we'll review our upcoming webinars in our bootcamp series and a brief Q&A. The 990EZ is the short form return for an organization exempt from income tax. A 990EZ can be filed if the organization's gross receipts were less than $200,000 and total assets at the end of the year were less than $500,000. This form is considered the short form because there are only 6 parts in total. You'll provide information about revenue and expenses, program service accomplishments, officers, and organization activities. Form 990EZ supports several schedules that the IRS requires based on the information you provide on the return itself. So if your organization exceeds $50,000 in gross receipts, but is less than $200,000 in gross receipts, they can file the 990EZ form. Additionally, if your total assets at the end of the year were less than $500,000, you can file a 990EZ form. If your organization exceeds either of these numbers, meaning if it exceeds the $200,000 in gross receipts or exceeds the $500,000 in assets, then you would not qualify for the 990EZ form. The supporting schedules are A, B, C, E, G, L, N, and O, which just provides the IRS with additional information on specific topics based on how you answered the 990EZ form. The 990 is the long form return for an organization exempt from income tax. A 990 can be filed if the organization has either gross receipts greater than or equal to $200,000 or total assets greater than or equal to $500,000 at the end of the tax year. The Form 990 will ask for more detailed information specific to categories such as mission, accomplishments, revenue and expenses, governance, compensation of officers, and activities. The 990 form itself supports several more schedules than the 990EZ. Like with the 990EZ, the IRS required schedules will be based on the information you provide on the return. The 990 form supports schedules A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, and R. And for information about those specific schedules, we have other webinars at tax990.com/webinar that explains each schedule in more detail. If your organization is considered a private foundation, you are required to file a 990PF form regardless of your assets and gross receipts. We will have a few webinars coming up about the 990PF, so if you're not sure, check out those webinars. You can also reference your determination letter when an organization obtains exempt status, they'll receive a determination letter in the mail. That determination letter will clearly indicate if your organization is applicable for the 990N, 990EZ, or 990 form, or if the organization is required to file the 990PF form. So take a look at that if you're unsure. You can also reach out to our support team if you have questions related to which form you should be filing. If with Tax 990 you input gross receipts or total assets that exceed the requirement of the 990EZ form, you will get an audit error and be asked to do the 990 form. So we do help provide some guidance on that, but we definitely suggest you confirm with an accountant or a CPA or the IRS prior to filing if you're not sure. The Form 8868 is used by an exempt organization to request an automatic 6-month extension of time to file the return. In order to qualify for an extension form, you must complete and transmit the 8868 on or before your original 990 series deadline. The 8868 is applicable towards the 990, 990EZ, 990PF, and 990T, but you cannot apply for an extension on a 990N form. So if you're running short on time with filing your 990 or your 990EZ form, or you need to confirm additional information prior to filing, you can complete an 8868 form. To maintain your tax-exempt status and remain compliant with the IRS, organizations are required to file a 990 series return on an annual basis. Your filing deadline is based on your organization's tax year end date. Your organization's deadline is the 15th day of the 5th month following the end of the organization's tax year. For example, right now we're focusing on the May 15th deadline. This is for organizations that had a calendar tax year that ended on December 31st. 5 months after December 31st would be May, and the deadline is always the 15th day. Failure to file on an annual basis could result in penalties by the IRS or revocation of your organization's exempt status. So you want to make sure that you are filing your return annually. If you missed a tax year, Tax 990 does support e-filing for the current and 2 prior tax years. So for right now, you can file 2021, 2022, and 2023 with Tax 990. If you applied for exempt status but have not yet received notice of approval, there is an option to indicate that your application is pending on both the 990EZ and the 990 form. However, if you're unsure if you need to file, we would suggest contacting the IRS. The IRS mandated e-filing for the 990 returns on July 1st of 2019. So organizations filing a return with a tax year beginning date after July 1st, 2019 are required to e-file returns moving forward. So even if you have to file a previous year, it is required to be e-filed. Since the IRS mandated e-filing, your organization must use an e-file provider to complete and transmit the return. The IRS mandates that all 990 forms be filed electronically. So choosing an IRS authorized provider is crucial. However, you should also keep in mind that the features and tools they offer are also important to making the right choice for your organization. Just like choosing a technology-driven accounting software, choosing an e-file provider that meets your needs will streamline your reporting. Tax 990 is an IRS authorized e-file provider. We have over a decade of experience e-filing tax forms. Collectively, Tax 990 and their sister products offer the option to e-file over 70 different tax forms, including the business tax forms such as 1099, W-2, and 941 forms, which can be filed with Tax Bandits. Your Affordable Care Act forms such as the 1094 and 1095s can be filed with ACA-wise. And your business and personal extension forms can be filed with Express Extension. For more information or on our other solutions, you can reach out to our support team and we'd be happy to provide you guidance on those other solutions. Filing a return with Tax 990 can be done in just a few simple steps. Once you've created your account and added your organization, you'll choose the form you need to file. Using one of our 2 available filing format options, you'll add the necessary information to the return. Once you complete the return, Tax 990 will confirm the form and information provided has met all of the IRS form instructions using our internal audit. When you've cleared your audit errors, you'll have the option to share the return as necessary. And the final step is transmitting the form to the IRS. Tax 990 has over 18 different Tax 990 specific features that we've created to provide an easier filing flow for your organization. We do have some other webinars that focus on more in-depth information regarding our features and how they work. However, today we're just spotlighting a few of our features, such as the public disclosure document. So when filing a 990EZ or 990 form, oftentimes Schedule B is included to report contributions over $5,000 from specific contributors. With the public disclosure document, the contributor information, including their address and phone number, are removed from the PDF download, so you can share that document as necessary with people interested in reviewing your records outside of the IRS. The public disclosure document is provided in addition to the professional PDF copy of your form. So in your Tax 990 account, once your form is accepted, you'll have the option to view a professional PDF copy of the entire form, and you'll have the option to download a PDF of the public disclosure documents with the Schedule B information retracted. We offer record keeping of all previous forms filed, so if you file with us for consecutive years, all of your documents will remain in your Tax 990 account for your records, as well as excuse me, the PDF of each of those copies. We also offer the autosave feature, which allows you to come and go as you please on your form. We do understand that filing these forms can be a very lengthy process, considering the 990 form can be upwards of 12, 15, 30 pages long, depending on how many schedules. So your information is automatically going to save as you work through the form. And when you leave Tax 990 and come back into your account later, you'll pick up right where you left off. One of our most beneficial features with Tax 990 is our experienced live support. If you have questions along the way, we do offer customer support that's dedicated and personalized and available. We focus on your account and the questions you specifically have. You won't need to be on hold for several hours or be put on a callback list, so when you need assistance with your return, you can give us a call or reach out via email or chat, and we can help you out along the way. Please keep in mind we cannot give specific tax or reporting advice, but we can assist you with the navigation of the account, understanding specific questions or calculations, or other Tax 990 related topics. Here at Tax 990, we've put a lot of work into providing you with the best resources. You can review our knowledge base to get quick answers to common questions related to the filing process, form information, or filing requirements. You can also check out our YouTube channel and blog channel for helpful step-by-step guides and instructions. Now, as I mentioned, leading up to the May 15th deadline, we'll be hosting a webinar boot camp every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll focus on specific topics related to the 990 series filing. You can visit tax990.com/webinars to register for any upcoming webinar that relates to your filing requirements or to learn more about filing with Tax 990. If you're unable to attend any of the webinars, we will post them all on our website after they air live. They'll all be similar to this one, very short 15 to 20 minute topic focused trainings. Next week, we'll be taking a look at completing the balance sheet on the 990 PF form. So as I mentioned, if you're unsure if you qualify for the 990 PF, tune in to our webinar next week to determine what the filing requirements are and reviewing the balance sheet on that form. We also keep all of our previous webinars on there. You'll hear me mention those several times, such as this webinar regarding schedules. So if there is a specific topic or information that you're looking for, you can review all of our previous webinars from our tax990.com/webinars website. Okay, so we'll finish up today with a quick Q&A. If we don't get to your questions, please reach out to our support team at support@tax990.com. We'll also send you a follow-up email if we were unable to review your question live with a response directly to you. I'll give you just a moment to type your questions into the chat field. All right, so our first question is Morgan is wondering, let's see, can I file Form 990 or 990EZ instead of the 990N? So we didn't talk much about the 990N today. We talked about it a couple of webinars ago. The 990N is an e-Postcard for organizations with $50,000 or less in gross receipts. So if you qualify for the 990N form because you have $50,000 or less in gross receipts, you can still choose to file one of the larger forms, such as the 990 or 990EZ. It's really just based on your preference and what you'll be utilizing the form for. If your organization intends to apply for grants or funding, oftentimes those organizations will want a larger form so they can provide more information on their organization and increase their likelihood of obtaining that funding. However, the form you file is based on your gross receipts, so if you don't want to file a larger form and you qualify for a smaller form, you can do that. Now, if you qualify for the 990 form because your gross receipts are greater than $200,000 or your assets are higher than $500,000, you cannot choose to file a smaller form just because you want to. If you qualify for a large form, you have to file the larger form. If you qualify for a smaller form, you can choose to file a larger form. If you need more specific information on that, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to help explain that. Okay. Tiffany is wondering, is it mandatory to fill out schedules when filing Form 990? So your schedules will generate based on the information you provide in the return. Tax 990 will prompt you to fill out only the required schedules and only the necessary part of those schedules. It is mandatory to complete the schedules and parts of schedules that are generated. For example, if you indicate that you have contributions over $5,000 on your form, Schedule B is going to automatically generate for you. Based on how you complete Schedule B, it will only generate Part 1 and 2 of Schedule B. If you indicate on Part 2 that you had non-cash contributions, Part 3 will generate for you to explain those non-cash contributions. If you don't indicate that you had non-cash contributions, then Part 3 will not generate. So everything that's required will generate for you to complete based on how you respond to the questions on the form itself. If something doesn't generate for you, if you believe that you need to complete a schedule that didn't generate, you'll have to go back through and determine which questions on the form would have prompted that schedule and how you responded to those. But again, you can reach out to our team and we'd be happy to provide additional guidance on that when we can look at your account with you. I think we have time for just one or two more questions here. So Melissa, is it mandatory to fill out schedules when filing Form 990? Yes, so we just talked about that. Again, if you have further questions, just reach out to us. And let's see, William is wondering the deadline to file Form 8868. So your 8868, as mentioned, has to be filed by your original 990 deadline. So if your deadline to file the 990 form is May 15th, then your deadline to file the extension, if you choose, is also May 15th. If you don't file the 990 form or the deadline, or the extension form by the May 15th deadline, then the extension will no longer apply and you'll just have to file the 990 form. Again, if you have additional questions on that, please reach out to us. We can assist in providing additional guidance. All right, so we are at our time for today. We will follow up with an email on these other couple of questions that we did not get to. Please keep in mind that next week we have our webinar for the 990 PF. If you believe that may apply to you, you can join that webinar. We'll send out an email with a registration link here shortly. If you have any questions, please reach out to our support team, and we'd be happy to assist you along the way. Otherwise, good luck and have a great rest of your day. Thanks.